Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel for our Saturday craft day with Kraftgali. We're going to be making this pretty simple but elegant card here using this Crafter's Companion stamp set called Rose Bloom. I really liked this stamp set. I thought it gave a couple different accents. It's a great price point. And I really wanted to practice a little bit of, I say pseudo watercoloring because I'm using zigs. And so it's not like watercoloring from a pan, but we're going to practice and I'm going to see what I can get. So first thing I'm going to do is stamp out this water bottle or jug, rather, for our vase. So I really like how this is kind of rustic and old looking. I think that's really fun. And so in hindsight, I might have wanted to stamp that out in silver because it kind of looks like it could be a clear vase, but then you can also make it into one of those sort of the silvery old vintage looking ones. But anyway, we're going to go with this and make it clear. And then I'm going to mask it off so that I can stamp out my rose bloom. I realized that my masking was getting a little bit in the way, so I just snip away that end corner there, and then we're good to go. And I'm going to restamp that a couple times. I am stamping in Versafine Clair Nocturne ink, and I'm using some clear embossing powder over it. That's going to help me when I'm watercoloring a little bit, just to kind of keep the colors inside a little easier for me. I'm going to take out my zig markers here, and I am just going to place down a whole bunch of color. So I don't bring my water brush in until the very end. And so I'm doing one flower at a time. I'm using pinks, purples, oranges. I think the only thing you have to be careful not to put your yellows next to your purple, because then you'll get a little bit of mud. So I was very careful with that, and I go through and I want to say that I did probably 2 coats of each. I say coats like I'm painting a wall. 2 layers of color. So that was really going to help build up some of that color, because right now it's pretty, but it's not as dimensional or kind of, what am I looking for? Sort of like when you have different colors flowing throughout. I felt like it was a little bit too flat, even though the pink and purple mixed beautifully, and the orange too. So on this other one, I'm going to play around a little bit more, and I'm going to use that yellow at the top and the pink at the bottom, and I'm going to try to get a little bit of an orange mix. Let that dry, and I'm moving on to the next one. So I'm trying not to work too much in the same spot. So I'm trying to do what I'm doing, let it dry a little, come back to it. This way, when it's dry, you can come back and you can put some color back down. Can't really put zig markers or arteza markers on wet surfaces. It doesn't really work that well. So you have to let it dry, or you can scribble it on your glass mat and pick it up that way. And I've done that, and I love that. But this way, I get a very vibrant mix of colors. So when you go direct with the marker to the paper. I am using some Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock here, which is really great for watercoloring, obviously because of the thickness. It holds the water really well, and you can go back multiple times to layer up your colors. So I'm starting to really love the way that this is coming out. It is getting super bold and bright, and I'm just happy playing. This is just making me happy playing around with the colors. I encourage you, if you shy away from watercoloring, these markers, the zigs and the Arteza real brush pens are a fantastic way to get yourself into watercoloring, because you get to play around and not lose control, if that makes sense. The losing control part is a lot of fun once you start to see what the colors mixing, how they mix together. Then it's a lot of fun to do that. But at first, it's a little scary, because you feel like you're going to ruin a project, or maybe you don't have a lot of watercolor cardstock to go around, and so you don't want to waste it. I get that. I would also recommend starting with a cheap watercolor cardstock before, if you really want to not care about wasting it, because that could be a difficult part of the process, is if you don't want to use up what you have and then not use it for a project. Part of the reason why I stepped away from Yupo paper, because I find it to be a little bit pricey. So poster board paper works awesome, and I get to play and experiment without the worry of wasting the cardstock. So, all right, so we're getting through here, and I'm just adding a little bit more of that light green. I love the way those two greens mixed. Also, I went back with the second layer of the leaf and I just put a line of the darker color and left it. I didn't even blend it out. And I thought, oh, that's kind of fun. It's kind of like the shading without really having to blend it in. So doing some final touch-ups there. Not much more left. But once again, this flower I'm working on right now, once that dried back a little bit, I thought, oh, that's perfect opportunity to lay down some more of that bright bold color. And then I'm going to heat set it. Okay, so here we have that. I did try to go around, I'm using some shimmer spray just to get a little bit of that fun sparkle on the background. I tried to go around the image with a very light gray, but I think unless you commit to a darker color, it's not really going to make a difference. You can hardly see it. So I'll work myself up to that commitment eventually. I'm going to take out this Scripty word dies. Who am I? What's his name? Elmer Fudd. Scripty word die from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to use the word thanks, and then I'm going to layer up 3 black ones and 1 silver glitter cardstock one. The silver one I'm going to offset a little so I have that black background or outline. My score tool to help me score my 110-pound cardstock, and my bone folder, and then we are going to start our assembly process. I'm going to use some really strong score tape here. This is 1-inch score tape, and I do that because I got a little bit of warping on my card panel, so I want to make sure that lays down nice and flat. And so that's really one of the best ways to do that, or fun foam. Okay, and then I'm going to take some liquid glue and just adhere that sentiment right down to the bottom there. I think this is a really fun thank you card. You can use it for any occasion. And then my last accent, I'm going to take some silver stickles. And I just wanted to do the center of the bud at first, but then I was like, well, that's the only one showing, the bud, the center. So then I was like, well, let me just outline some of these other flowers. And I have to tell you, please try this. It is so fun, and it brings the flower just to life. Like, it's just sparkly and pretty and really accents the lines. So I would highly recommend this little embellishment to your card if you're not already doing it, because my silvers, or my stickles, all my stickles, have been a little bit neglected lately. So I'm pulling those bad boys out. And there is the finished card. Hopefully you like this card. Let me know what you think in the comment section. You know I love to chat with you guys down there. Thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to head over to Kraftgali. Check out what's in store, all the great deals and new products that have come in. And I'll list everything I used below in the description box. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss our Saturday craft days here on the channel. And I will see you all in the next video. We hope you have a fantastic weekend and an even better week. See you next time. Bye-bye.